7. On nobody. Repeat.
Echo Station 3PA.
George Lucas's ex-wife gets candid on most problematic OG Star Wars movie. Now, which movie do you think that is?
Guessing Return of the Jedi.
You got it.
Okay,
She is talking about Return of the Jedi.
because that's the one that a lot of fans back then had the most issues with. I loved the movie because I was a kid when I watched it, but like people like Robert Meyer Burnett, a lot of the older people were not fans of Jedi.
So the thing that we found out in the Icons Unearthed, and in this article they go even further, is that a team of people basically had to come in and save the film because it was gonna not be good.
And she talks about that in Icons Unearthed.
She did. So here, Marcia Lucas revealed that episode 6 was the most problematic editorially, to the point she had to leave another project to fix it. She says, the third film was the most problematic editorially. It went through several English editors, and we weren't happy with any of the assembled footage. I had to beg off of another movie to stay and fix this one. The Star Wars editor put particular emphasis on the battle above the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine early in the flick, saying it took 2 months to cut it into something intelligible. She says the battle in the desert over the monster hole. And Marcia Lucas doesn't remember what everything's called.
Yeah, sorry.
You know,
and that's once she was done with that project, she was like, all right, on to the next thing.
Well, and this is like right when she went through her divorce. She didn't care that George named it a Sarlacc pit, you know. So she says the battle in the desert over the monster hole. I love that, by the way. I spent 2 months cutting that into something intelligible. I worked with Rose at ILM for the entire time. She probably hates me to this day. I was always on her to get finished effect shots so I could cut them in. And then she said, I cut Yoda's death scene together. In the first cuts, it was too dry. No emotion from Luke and, by extension, the audience. The article goes on to talk about how the marriage between Marcia and George came to an end during post-production of Return of the Jedi. And then they refer to the Icons Unearthed docuseries. The franchise creator's ex-wife shut down speculation from crew members that an affair was the cause of their divorce. So she says, like, she gets very candid in that documentary.
And I believe her. I believe that she was not cheating on George, because she got very emotional when she talked about that and was like, I would never do something like that, you know?
Well, and the thing is like, I'll tell you what this documentary did was it brought George Lucas down a peg because it made him a real person.
Yeah. He wasn't the Star Wars god, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, you really realize from watching between the Icons Unearthed documentary and the ILM documentary on how many people it took to come together to work on these movies that made them what they are.
Yes.
You know, the outlines and the basic direction, of course, all came from George, you know, not taking any credit away from him for that. He is the creator. But there was so many other people involved in the making of these films that made them what they are today. And without them, they would not be the success that they are.
And I'm not saying this to like, because if I had said this 2 months ago, or if I had heard somebody else say what I'm about to say 2 months ago, I probably would have been like likely disagreeing with them. George Lucas is a very brilliant man, but he kind of got lucky. It was the perfect storm, 77 through 83.
Yeah.
He made all the right decisions. But golly, it's like all the help that he got and all the people that helped him out. Like, it's really eye-opening that he did not do all of that by himself. And Marcia Lucas does not get enough credit.
100%. And one of the most interesting things that she talked about in that documentary that she remembers to this day was they were having dinner with another couple, and she doesn't remember who the couple was, but they were having dinner, and the guy that was there said something along the lines of, when they were talking about Jedi, is, oh, so are you should totally make Darth Vader Luke's father, and basically that's where George got the idea from, because Marcia was like, that's actually not a bad idea, and they started talking about it. So uh it was that, or it might have been right before Empire that happened. I can't remember. It's in the documentary though, but he actually got the idea from somebody else mentioning it, and bring it up to him, because everybody knows, if you go back and read, originally Darth Vader was never Luke's father. That all came about later on.